Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge. This is part two. Part two is what we're doing today. And we're going to be talking with Brian Fielkow again. Now, he was on last time. We were talking about how to be safe as a driver, how to get employee buy-in. And then we were also talking about his book, Make Safety Happen. But today, we're going to talk about how we can get everybody working together. If you've ever been to so many trucking companies, everybody's working in silos. Safety works by themselves, operations works by themselves, dispatch works, and the poor driver's left out here on the highway. You know what? Let's get everybody working together. You want to be successful as an operation? Then let's get everybody working together. We're going to talk about that with Brian in today's interview, part two of this series on how to get... First of all, the first one was with George Krasulia, and he was talking about carrier impact and how to know if you're working with the right carrier. And then if you know you're at the right carrier because they're giving you employee buy-in on being safe and making sure that your life is better and you get home at the end of the day, that's really good. But then if you actually know, like working with the people you're with, you got it made, man. Where else are you going to get that? Hey, you know what? Before we get into our episode today, let me tell you about a place that wants to make sure you're successful, and that's our friends over at Bison Transport. If you're an owner-operator, have you thought about how you're being successful? You know what? Have you planned for your success? Do you have support for your success? Do you have support that you can rely on? Can you trust the people that are setting you up for success? And are you bringing in the income? Well, this is how Bison works, right? They plan for success. They've got daily planning huddles to make sure that everybody is moving the way they're supposed to be. They've got fleet support. You need help? Call 24/7. They got somebody that's going to answer the phone and help you. Dispatch that you can work with and rely on and know that they're out for your best interest. And of course, getting paid on time is the best way to go. And if you're interested in switching right now to a new carrier, then they've got a $3,000 sign-on bonus for owner-operators, so you want to check them out. They are looking for team owner-operators, they're looking for single owner-operators, and they're even looking for a few experienced truck drivers. If that's you, then check out bisondriving.com and make sure you tell them that we sent you. All right, let's get on to our second part of the interview with Brian Fielkow. He's the one that's got Make Safety Happen. He wrote this book. He's been in the industry for decades and decades and has a wealth of knowledge. He's worked for companies like Jetco and all kind of stuff, so he knows what he's talking about. So let's find out how he can help you. All right? Whether you're a driver, an owner-operator, or somebody in fleet operations or management, you need to listen to this episode because we all need to work together. Let's get on with it, shall we? Here we go.
Be sure to share the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
Yes, very, very good. I like that. Let's get into part of some of the stuff that you talk about in your book is silos, and this has been a big problem in our industry. Even when management is on top of this, and it's, operations is telling you one thing, safety's telling you another, maintenance is telling you something. You're the driver in the middle, and you can get very, very confused as to who's right because it's three different messages you might be getting. So what is a way to get all the departments working together? Because I still see this a lot. I'm part of a lot of organizations up here in Canada. Safety is kind of operating by themselves. Dispatch is operating by themselves, and it's two different goals, and none of those meet in the middle, depending on where they go. So have you got any tips for people who are maybe in that situation where dispatch and safety don't seem to be talking? I know there's some companies that are struggling with that for sure.
That's pure hell for everybody.
You should be the driver in there, Brian. It's killing it. You're in the middle of all of that. And you're just trying to do your job, right? So,
well, what we did that really revolutionized, at least for us, making sure that we were hearing the drivers, because when you have hundreds of drivers, it can be hard sometimes. We asked our drivers to elect a driver committee, and it was not a safety committee. It was a driver committee because we wanted to address the entire experience of the driver, not confine it only to safety. We knew that if we got the experience right, safety would fall in line. So a lot of that dysfunction that might have been going on, our driver committee, because we brought them in truly in how we made decisions impacting the freight we ran, the customers we served, they helped us overcome some of those dysfunctions, and bringing the drivers in with the driver committee broke down an important silo. And it's that silo that exists between your office and your drivers. But then the silos internally, right? Safety operations, um, those really can create a dysfunction that spills right over to the driver. We talk about distractions, right? And we all know to put our cell phone down. But if the office is calling the driver every 5 minutes, then isn't the office part of the problem? So,
You hit it on the head, my friend. That my old safety person, they were the ones that were calling me when we had phones in the truck, and can I pick
mean,
your brain? I'm going down the highway at 60 miles an hour.
yeah. So I'm going to be held accountable, which I should be for being on the phone while driving, but yet I'm talking to you. So something is really missed. Yeah. The other way you get silos, Bruce, is by who you invite to the table. Like, we most companies, most organizations create their own silos. And what I mean by that is, like, every Monday we had our operations meeting, and I'd hear complaints about safety. And every Tuesday we have our safety meeting, and guess what? I'd hear complaints about operations. And I said, the hell with that, man. We're done with that. We had one meeting a week, a safety operations meeting. And everybody's in the same room. And just who you invite to the meeting, who you invite to the table and bring into the process, that's how you break down the silos. It's really not nothing anything that's fancy or formal, but you reap what you sow. So if you're creating silos by, we're only going to talk to operations today and safety tomorrow, you wind up being a ping pong ball. And again, all of that dysfunction at the corporate level, at the organization level, spills right into the life of a driver. And so it's really important, because I think a lot of not just safety failures, but service failures have the results in dysfunction and poor communication. I mean, I'm sure you've gotten dispatch, when you were driving, dispatch tickets and orders that were completely wrong. And what does that do to you, especially if you're paid on productivity? I remember one where we had a load. We're in Houston, right? So we had a load dispatched to a very small city in southern Texas called Alamo. Well, guess what? Dispatch sent the driver to the Alamo. And the Alamo in San Antonio does not receive freight. But I mean, just communication stuff like that. You want to talk about distractions beyond the cell phone? That's a distraction. So you got to get the communication right, and to do that, you got to break down those silos.
Did you ever, one thing I've always been big at, and I tell this because I do some training for some of the training schools here, some of the class stuff, that I always encourage people, to cross train. If you can, get a dispatch to go out with the drivers to see what the real world's like. Driver, sit in dispatch, see what, because they've all got a lot of things going on. Like, not everybody can be dispatch is a very busy, lots of things going on at the same time, and you have to be quite talented at moving a lot of things going. But not everybody understands that. And drivers being alone, a lot of times when something comes down the pipe, a memo or a rule or something, they go, "Oh man, they're on us again." They don't realize it's something else has gone on in the background. Do you do any of that? Have you found that to work? Where you it sounds like you started that in your meetings, making sure everybody that's got an important function is at the same table. Does that work for employees to help them understand better and understand safety across the whole board?
Yeah, we used to call them ride-alongs and sit-alongs, right? So the ride-along was, office folks spending a day in the truck with the driver, but then the sit-along was the driver sitting in dispatch. Because you're right. I mean, dispatch has many days a thankless job, right? I mean, things are shifting. They're fielding the customer calls, loads change, shipping changes. So what may seem sometimes unfair, like chaos, is dispatch trying to do their job and looking out for the driver. So the driver working in dispatch is critical, because it is a two-way street. And as you said before, that those are the simple ways to break down silos. I know a story, I think 1,000 unit plus operation in Oklahoma, and the owner of the company had a great safety executive and a great operations executive, but they were at each other's throats. Could not get along. And he finally said, "Guys, if you want to keep your job here, you're going to switch jobs for 2 years." Think about that, 2 years. And at the end of the 2 years, each person was very happy to get back to their main job, and they had unconditional respect for what the other did. Now, do most companies have 2 years? Of course not. But you do have a day, you do have a week. And it's important, I think, to kind of step in each other's shoes. Otherwise, it's impossible to do your job, whether you're a professional driver, whether you're dispatching in the shop, wherever you are, safety, if you don't really know what the other person is facing, because you're managing theoretical risks in a vacuum when you got to be managing real risks, the day in, day out stuff, that I think really needs that level of understanding and empathy to address.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what, I've been in dispatch before. I've dispatched. I've also been in management, supervisor of a fleet, and it's totally different when you're on the other side of the fence. Nobody understands that till you get thrown into that, and you go, "Oh, that's why they're dealing with that the way they are." Because now it's affecting many. So it's. All right, wasn't that a great interview with Brian? I know you're going to love that one. Go check out his site, brianfielkow.com. I'll put it in the show notes for you, and get his book, Make Safety Happen. Why not? Why not get Make Safety Happen and have it happen at your company? Why let the other guy be safer than you? What's up with that? Anyway, check it out. I know you're going to love it, and it's called Make Safety Happen. Thank you, Brian, for being on the show. Make sure you join us. We got more great content coming up this month, and to do that, the best thing to do is to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Now, did you also know, you may or may not be listening to, if you're listening to this on our podcast, if you want to actually see us talking, then you know what? On our YouTube channel, we've changed the podcast over to video format. So we had video before, but it was kind of just a static image. Now you actually can go and see us in the studio doing our thing. So go check that out. And also, while you're checking out YouTube, would you go over to Lead Pedal Radio? Just click on that and subscribe there, because if you're into nostalgia, great trucking music, trucking artists, trucking musicians, all that kind of stuff, you're going to love Lead Pedal Radio. That's what we're all about. All right, my friends, we'll talk to you later. Be good out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and we will catch you next time.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com, and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.